Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. This is part 5 of this massive unboxing, and it's going to be a really good one because it's the Heritage Auctions part of the unboxing. So there's a Heritage Auction at the bottom, and there's some cool books here as well, and there's a mystery one, and some American flag. I mentioned that I won American flag in one of my early videos where I won 2 collections of American flag. So I have a bunch of American flag. A lot of these issues I've shown in the previous video, so I'm not going to show this again. I won't torture you by showing you issue after issue of American flag. But I actually do recommend that you check out this series because there's some really great covers. Like, just some of these covers are kind of cool. So definitely worth checking out, but I won't go through a second lot of American flag. That's enough American flag in any lifetime. Okay, so but I will show you some pretty cool books. We're going to start out with a mystery box, a mystery thing. So I know what this is, kind of, in a way. I don't know if that makes sense. What happened was my friend Falco, who wins lots of contests, I mentioned him many times in these videos, he sends me stuff, and this is probably one of these packages, because it's not something I ordered. Definitely not something I ordered. Yep, and it's Pokemon cards. So, not something I normally order. I would never order Pokemon cards, but these kind of foily cards, I don't know, is that Spawn? Yeah, it's Spawn. It's a Spawn promo card. I'm not sure if you can see that. Can you see that? I don't know. So that's kind of cool. And we got some whole bunch of cards in here. So it's like a little pack of cards. So these are base, I don't know, inserts and parallels. I should probably open these up, but that's okay. And these are hits. Nice one. Yeah. I like when they're in the little cases because it keeps the cards nice and in good shape. And a whole bunch more. They sent a ton of cards. This is like some win that he had where he wins a lot of Pokemon cards. I usually just give the Pokemon cards to my son. He kind of likes them. So what does the note say? It says a little note. Adventure into the Gnomes. Thank you. Shout out to Catman Comics YouTube. And it's from D Princess. So you can check them out. I figure, hey, give credit to the people that put on the contest. So it's Adventure into the Gnomes. Interesting. Okay, so that's those Pokemon cards, and there was just like a bunch of packs. Whole bunch of packs. So kind of fun. I'll give those to my son. He'll definitely enjoy those. So okay, now let's get into the comics. And the very first comic I'm going to show you is a little bit under the radar, not super under the radar key, but it is definitely a book that is one that you should check out and look for if you can find it. It's Ren and Stimpy Pure Images. So this is Pure Images number 5. And this is actually the first cover appearance of Ren and Stimpy. And it's actually their second appearance in comics. It is before the actual Ren and Stimpy comic that came out later. This is from June of 1992. So this is a bit of my childhood nostalgia. I remember watching Ren and Stimpy. It was such a weird show, but I do remember watching it. I wanted to get their first appearance. So this is their first cover appearance. So this is Pure Images number 5. Just a nostalgic 5. But one that actually is a key that you can pick up, and if you can find it for cheap, it's kind of one that can go for quite a lot. There's other people that find it nostalgic too. So it can go for quite a bit of money. I'm not saying hundreds and hundreds of dollars, but maybe 50 bucks. You know, it's like, it's not a bad book. Okay. Now we got, oh wow, this is a good order. Okay, so this is my my comic shop order, and I was just basically getting all the run fillers for Lois Lane and some books for Archie. So this one is just a great bikini cover. I also think it is appearance of I think it's the character Marvelous Queen made their first appearance in this book as well. I think. You can tell me if I'm wrong in the comments below, but I think so. So just a kind of a cool Pep. This is Pep 390. So kind of fun. And another Pep. I'm trying to remember what this one is. Okay, this is Pep 442. And I forgot what the key significance. There is a key to this, actually. I forgot what it is, though. I'll have to look it up. 342. Okay, so that's one that I'll have to look up. And I'll put it in the description. So look in the description. It'll explain. This is Lassie number 21. And I actually showed in a previous unboxing, or a previous part of this unboxing, another issue of Lassie. And the reason I picked these up is not that I actually liked Lassie as a kid, strangely. But this also features the artwork of Matt Baker. So I picked it up for the Matt Baker element. And these are pretty affordable. I picked them up for a couple dollars. They weren't too expensive. Actually, it looks... I'm a little bit nervous about this one because of the pages. The paper looks a little bit brittle. So I'm kind of worried about that. But other than that, it looks okay. And then these are just run fillers for Lois Lane. So this is Lois Lane number 40. I'm almost done my Lois Lane run. I'm trying to get the complete run collection of Lois Lane. We've got Lois Lane 36. It's mostly the early issues that I'm missing at this point. Number 26. I think that's kind of fun. It's always Lois Lane being jealous of some other woman. That's like 90% of Lois Lane stories. Then we got Lois Lane 21. Bit of a cat fight. Oh, and this one's really great. I showed another one of this. This is the Superman and Flash race. I think this is the second race. So this is Superman and the Flash, which is World's Finest 198. I showed in a previous video a different cover for like a different race. There was actually 3 races, and it was like 2 ties, and then the Flash wins in the 3rd race. So the 3rd race is kind of the key book in a weird way, because it's when the Flash actually determines the winner by winning the race. And then we have another Lois Lane. See, she's always jealous of some other woman. This is Lois Lane number 30. And actually, I don't know why I bought this. I have this already. This is Lois Lane number 83. I have this somewhere. I already have this book. That's an extra. And then we got Lois Lane 104. And then we have Lois Lane 118. Sort of a 60s style. Really cool. Okay, so those are all the Loises and Pep. Okay, now we're getting into some more stuff. Okay. Oh, this is a like interesting one. It has lots of things to open. Okay. Wow, this is a nice one. This is a really cool book. And I got it for a great price. I was super excited to get this. I was actually surprised that the guy had it listed. I think I paid $50 or $60 for it. I didn't pay much. This is Starfire. This is, you know, the, oh, what's his name? Why am I forgetting names nowadays? but it's the Darwyn Cooke. I was trying to remember the guy's name. Darwyn Cooke variant cover. And this book is super hot. Like, it usually goes for over $100. It's considered a really great cover, quite rare. And it's just a really great Starfire cover. I'll zoom in. So yeah, just a really great cover. I was doing a show with my friend Mark Olroyd, the Price Variance show, where I was talking about this book. And we were both looking at the cover. It was like hottest comics of the week or something like that. And I was like, oh yeah, that's a really great cover. And we were both agreeing that it was a great cover. We both checked eBay afterwards, and neither of us could find it, or not for a reasonable price. And then I was on Instagram, and then somebody did a claim sale and just happened to have this book, and I got it for a great price. I was like, wow, that's awesome. So that was pretty great. And the same guy, I think I paid $80 for the two. The second book is actually kind of cool too. It's and he sold this really cheap. Like this one, I don't think he realizes that these books are actually quite valuable. But it's a pulp. And if I can get it out, I can show it to you. It's not in the best of shape, but it's Spicy Stories. Now these pulps are from the like late 30s, yeah, in that 1930s era, and they're quite rare, and they usually go for fairly big money. Anytime it's like a spicy thing, like Spicy Detective, Spicy Stories, Spicy Crime, Spicy Detective, all these kind of spicy things, they usually go for big money. And they featured a lot of interesting artists. One of the characters that I really like is Sally the Sleuth, who made her first appearance in Spicy Detective. So just a really great series of books, you know, with good girl art, usually these kind of spicy covers. But just, yeah, really, really great stuff. So, and actually, I just noticed something special about this book that I didn't realize when I bought it. But this is an infinity cover, too. The book that she's reading is, oh, that's so cool. It's an infinity cover. So I love infinity covers, and the fact that this is an infinity cover is a huge added bonus. Like a really early infinity cover, actually. So, wow, that's awesome. That's really great. So, bonus on that one. And that was actually, I'm going to give a little bit of a shout out to the guy. This is the guy's channel on Instagram. So check him out, Kyle's Comics. Give him a shout out because I got a great deal on those books. He was really, really a pleasure to work with. Okay, so, okay, so this is another one of these wins from Romero. I'm kind of trying to say his name right. Romero. Oh, I feel bad. He'll watch this and he'll kind of like, oh, you brutalized my name. But I won a couple things from him, and I always brutalize his name when I say his name. And that's why, like, once you get the name wrong in your head and you just, I find that I can't correct it. I just keep on saying the wrong way. And then I'm like, did I say it the wrong way, the right way? It's like annoying. But he's a really great guy. Check out I did an interview with him because I felt so guilty winning all these prizes from him. And this is the prize here. So I did an interview with him, and he was a really great guy, really, really nice guy. He had a pretty tough life, but he's, you know, very resilient guy. But I won this great package of Daredevil from him. This is Daredevil 188. And these are run fillers, but they're cool run fillers. You know, this is, you know, a really great cover. And then we got Daredevil 207. And these are ones that I didn't have, so I actually like having these run fillers. So 207. And he does like contests all the time. He's actually pretty good for that. I might even link to his channel because he's such a great guy. This is Daredevil 260. Really great cover. And then we got Daredevil 208. All the missiles heading towards him, or arrows heading towards him. Great cover. Okay, So that's the Daredevil. And now we're getting into the Heritage Auctions win. So this is actually a pretty big set of books that I won. It's not a lot of books. It's only 4 books, but they are all big books for the most part, I should say. I'll show you them. There's one slab and some random books here, which I have to kind of get through all the wrapping. Okay. I feel like whenever I'm doing these kind of things, I feel like I'm doing surgery, where I'm like slicing open the victim or the patient. Yeah. Oh. Okay, so all of that. Get out the books. Okay. Okay, actually, maybe it's 2 slabs. I thought it was 1 slab, but it's 2. So we got Little Lulu. This is Little Lulu number 1. So the very first Little Lulu. Now, this is not her first appearance. She actually made earlier appearances in Dell 4-Color 74, I think. I think that's the right number. I have that as well somewhere, but I never had her first like titled issue where it's her own series, and this is Little Lulu number 1. So so yeah, kind of a cool book because I got it for a great price. I was like so excited. Like sometimes on Heritage you can get amazing deals, and this was an amazing deal. I got it for about maybe 2/3 of the fair market value, or maybe even slightly less. And this is another one that I've been trying to get a complete run of. This is America's Best Comics. I'm actually not trying to get a complete run of America's Best Comics. I'm actually just trying to get all the Miss Mask covers. So I think I'm missing like 3 or 4. So basically after, I think it was issue 24 or so, it became all Miss Mask covers. And they're really great covers, where she's kind of being very sexy. And so this is Miss Mask, oh, sorry, America's Best Comics 28. Just a really great cover. So, and you got Black Terror there and everything. Now, we have 2 slabs. I had to think about it. Yeah, there are 2 slabs, yeah. Makes sense. I know what the issues are, so. And one is a big book, one is not such a big book, but still a good key to pick up if you can find it. Goes for some money, but it is definitely a great book. Okay. So I'm going to show you the one that goes for, this one goes, usually in this grade goes for about $300. This is Primer number 5. It's a nude cover, sorry, for those who get easily offended, but I'm going to show it anyways, because it's very artsy. It's a very artsy cover. But this is Primer number 5 from 1983. And the reason I'm taking it out of the plastic is so that you can read stuff right there. It says Sam Kieth Max the Hare. So this is actually the first appearance of Max. So it's the first published Sam Kieth art, first appearance of Max the Hare, which is later becomes Max, the Max. So this is a really great key. A bit of a under the radar key. Like, not many people collect the Max, but you know, he's a very cool character, fun character. And I never realized that he was a rabbit. I didn't know what he was, but he's a rabbit. So yeah, so it's just a really great book. Actually, this is my second copy of the book. I wanted to get a graded copy. So it's, for me, it's almost cheaper to just buy it graded than actually buy it and get it sent off and, you know, get it graded, because yeah, it's really expensive sending books back and forth from Canada to the US. And sometimes even when you send things to CGC, it gets dinged at like customs. It's just annoying. But so I got this book, and it was like, I got it for really, I think I bid like $100 or something. Just a really great low price to pick it up. So yeah. Primer number 5. I'm super excited to have this because I actually like the Max a lot. So it's nice. I always like the one thing I really enjoy about slabs in general is I like the fact that it has the notes so you know what it is. So if you have one of those brain farts and you can't remember who's the artist, who's the whatever, it has it all there. It's very convenient. Okay, now this next book is a big book. This is a book that I'm kind of excited about because it kind of goes with a whole bunch of comics that I've been collecting. So one story I never really told, and this is, I have to kind of build this book up because it is a big book, is when I was young, I bought the Howard the Duck book, and that really started me on my comic journey in terms of, you know, buying comics and getting into collecting comics. Now, I really didn't get to buy the comics that I liked. I really just was picking up the books that my parents would buy me. You know, like they would buy me Disney books mostly. It wasn't until I went on a school trip when I was in grade 10 or 11, somewhere around there. And I went to Ottawa, which it seems kind of weird because now I'm in Ottawa, but I was actually traveling to Ottawa at the time. And it was a big trip. There was it was an overnight trip. We were going to tour the capital and we're going to see all these things. And we had one day where we kind of had a little bit of off time where we could sort of do a little bit of exploring on our own, which was fun. So I got to go to a comic shop. It was my very first time going to a shop dedicated to comics. So as I said, I was just picking up books before that via my parents, like picking up like books off the newsstand and, you know, giving them to me as a kid. This was my opportunity to get something at a comic store. So one of the characters that I liked at the time, especially at the time, was Plastic Man. And I was like, oh, I really want to get Plastic Man. And like, I didn't know what else. I couldn't think of any other characters like that were really kind of cool to me. I liked Plastic Man. I just liked the fact that he was like bendy and kind of, you know, could do all these weird things. So I asked the comic shop owner, can I get the first appearance of Plastic Man, you know, and do you have a copy of it? And he said, yeah, we do. There it is over there, Plastic Man #1. It was like in some, you know, bin, you know, you go to the P and then you find PL and it's Plastic Man. And so I pulled out Plastic Man #1. And I think it was like the 3rd or 4th series, like of Plastic Man. It was like a later series. And I didn't know any better because back then there was I didn't have a guide, or I didn't know which books were the cool books and which were not the cool books. And, you know, there wasn't the internet really, to sort of speak, where you could search it and find out what was the right book for the first appearance. So for me, it's Plastic Man. It says Plastic Man #1. It must be the first appearance. And I was surprised. Maybe I was thinking, wow, this character isn't really that popular because it was only $2. That's how much it cost me to buy Plastic Man #1. And years later, you know, once I got a guide and found out more, I was like, oh, that's not the first appearance of Plastic Man. That's not the first kind of key book for Plastic Man. You know, Police Comics #1, which I showed in a previous unboxing, is the first appearance of Plastic Man. But I still wanted to get Plastic Man #1, which is the first series of Plastic Man. And that's what this book is. So that was a very long story, but it's a story to build up to this great book. This is Plastic Man #1, which has so much going for it. It is a great skull cover. It's like a classic skull cover. You got Plastic Man doing his whole stretchy thing. He's got like all the bad guys all tied up here, and he's got, you know, he's like punching a bad guy over there, and it's got flames. It's just got so much going on, and it's like Game of Death. Plastic Man #1. And so what's wrong with this book? It's a green label, yes. And it's missing the centerfold. The centerfold fell out, and that's why it got the green label. It does affect story. You know, it's one of those things like, it bothers me, yes. It bothers me that it's a green label. It bothers me that it's missing a centerfold. but I'm just happy to get this book. And I got it for a great price because it is a green label. I got it for about like a little bit less than 50% of fair market value. So I think it was like, you know, normally a book in a 3.5 Plastic Man #1 goes for $2,000 to $3,000. No, not that much. $1,000 to $2,000, I should say. I got this for around 500 or so, a little bit more than 500. No, it's closer to 1,000. So I think it goes 2,000 to 3,000. Maybe I was right actually when I said it's a 3.5. So yeah, it would go for about 2,000 to 3,000. So and I paid just under 1,000 for it. So it is a big book, even in a green label. It is one that I definitely wanted to have, and it will go well with my Police Comics. So now I have the set. So I have the set, Police Comics #1 and Plastic Man #1. So it's great to have the set. I'm super excited to have it. And the back is really weird. It's this like vital book. Very strange back. I've seen this back before on other comics, which is kind of weird. Yeah, so this is Plastic Man #1. And actually it's interesting because it was non-numbered. I don't know if they were planning to make a Plastic Man at #2 when they first did this book, but it was non-numbered at the time. And then later they came out with Plastic Man #2 and so forth. But this is from 1943, and it's just a really great book for me to get. Jack Cole story, cover, and art. So, yep, that's my Plastic Man. I was super excited to get that. So yeah, now I can put those two books together and display them with some pride there. So I hope you enjoyed this video. A little bit of longer story in between, some little bit of free stuff, some cool Miss Mask. Whenever you see Miss Mask, you gotta be happy. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please, check out the other parts of this series. And thanks for watching. Bye for now.